Imagine paying $200 a month for an AI subscription, only to realize the company is secretly hiding invisible watermarks in your data. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's the reality of the current AI pricing war. You sign up for a premium tier because you need more than just a chatbot. You need complex reasoning, high-fidelity image generation, and unlimited output tokens. But then you get an email. Your usage has exceeded the free limit. Or worse, the terms of service change, and suddenly that premium model is locked behind a paywall or requires specific hardware you don't have. This is vendor lock-in, and it's strangling creativity across the internet. Today, we are solving this problem. We're talking about OpenRouter. Think of it as the airline hub for artificial intelligence. You know how flying economy class on one carrier means you can only use their loyalty points and pay their strict fees? That is the current state of AI. But what if you had a single ticket that let you fly United, Delta, British Airways, and JetBlue all at once? You choose which plane gets you to your destination based on price, speed, and comfort. OpenRouter does exactly that for LLMs. Number one, what it actually does in plain English. OpenRouter is an API aggregator. It sits between you and the massive tech giants like Anthropic, Google, Meta, and Stability AI. When you ask a question, OpenRouter doesn't have its own brain. Instead, it takes your prompt, scans the market of available models, finds the one that fits your need best right this second, routes your request there, and sends you the answer back with a receipt showing exactly where your money went. This means if you want the smartest model for legal analysis, OpenRouter routes you to the legal specialized model on another server. If you just want a quick joke or a simple draft, it might route you to a cheaper, smaller model that costs pennies instead of dollars. You never see the back-end servers. You just see one interface. This brings us to number two, who it's really for, and who should skip it. This tool is essential if you are a developer building an app and want to avoid hard-coding one specific API key that might get banned tomorrow. It is vital for anyone tired of the credit card-required sign-up screens of major providers. However, if you're a casual user who just wants to chat with a bot on your phone and doesn't care about pricing or model swapping, this tool adds complexity you don't need. If you are on a mobile device without a stable connection, the routing overhead might be overkill. Skip it if you want simplicity above all else. But for power users, freelancers, and content creators burning cash on expensive tokens, this is your escape hatch. Let's look at number three, real use cases. I'm going to tell you 3 stories of how this tool changes the game. First, meet Sarah, a freelance copywriter. She used to spend 80% of her month writing for clients using a top-tier model from a major cloud provider. The bills were eating her lunch money. One day, she tried OpenRouter. She discovered that a specific open-source model hosted on a different server was 99% as good, but cost 1/30th the price. She switched her workflow instantly. That single switch saved her $600 in 3 months. She didn't lose quality. She gained control. Second, consider Marcus, a researcher analyzing sensitive public data. He needed high accuracy, but couldn't use a model that required personal, identifiable information to be stored on their servers due to privacy laws. OpenRouter allowed him to route his queries through models hosted in specific jurisdictions or with strict local retention policies. He could swap between a highly secure enterprise model and a free, open-weight model, depending on the sensitivity of the document he was reading. He had total control over where his data lived. Third, there's Elena, an image generator. She noticed that images from one major platform were getting faint, invisible watermarks in the background of her high-resolution exports. These weren't visible to the naked eye at first glance, but they ruined her ability to print or sell the art commercially. OpenRouter allowed her to switch to a different renderer entirely, one that didn't apply those specific watermark protocols. Suddenly, her images were pure digital assets again. She could toggle between renderers to find the one that respected her intellectual property rights. This isn't about hiding your face, it's about owning your output. Now for number 4, pricing. As of August 2026, the landscape has shifted dramatically. OpenRouter operates on a bring-your-own-fuel model but they offer a free tier that gives you access to their routing engine and several base models. The cost is determined by the model you select. Some models are still free or have very generous limits. Others, like the premium variants of Claude or GPT-4, will cost what they cost on their native platforms, but you avoid the overhead fees sometimes charged by resellers. Paid plans usually offer higher rate limits and dedicated support. However, pricing changes fast, so double-check their site. Link below. Always verify the current costs before you commit to a monthly budget. The goal here is transparency. You know exactly which model generated which line of text. But we must get to number 5. What nobody tells you. An honest pros and cons section with at least 2 real drawbacks or limitations. Honesty over hype, always. Here is the first drawback: latency. Because OpenRouter has to route your request through its own servers before sending it to the actual model provider, there is a tiny delay. If you're in a rush and need an answer in under 200 milliseconds, this hub might add 10 to 50 milliseconds. It's usually negligible for writing or analysis, but if you're building a real-time voice interface where every millisecond counts, you might notice a slight hesitation. That is the cost of choice. The second drawback is model availability volatility. OpenRouter acts as a middleman. If Google shuts down access to their API for a specific region, or if an open-source project decides to take down their endpoint, OpenRouter can't magically bring that model back to life instantly. The hub is only as good as the models it connects to. Sometimes you might find a popular model listed as unavailable because the underlying provider has changed terms or capacity limits. You have to be willing to pivot quickly if your preferred model goes dark. This isn't a bug. It's a feature of a dynamic market, but it requires you to be flexible. There's also the question of data privacy at the routing level. While OpenRouter claims not to store your prompts, you're technically sending your data through their infrastructure first. If you handle highly sensitive classified information, you might prefer to stick to the native API of a trusted vendor rather than routing through a third-party aggregator. Always read their privacy policy regarding data retention. The trade-off is convenience versus absolute isolation. So what is the final verdict? OpenRouter is becoming essential as major tech giants start charging higher fees for their services. With Anthropic's Claude recently costing up to $200 a month for heavy usage, and new headlines about Google removing visible watermarks while others try to hide them invisibly, this tool offers a critical pivot point for users needing control and cost efficiency in the current AI pricing war. It breaks the monopoly of big tech on intelligence. Don't let your creativity be gated behind a paywall you can't afford. Use the link in the description to explore the models available today. Compare the prices, test the latency, and find a sweet spot that works for your workflow. Remember, this is not just about saving money. It's about reclaiming ownership over your digital tools. The choice of intelligence should belong to you, not the corporation holding the keys to the kingdom. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an AI Tool Tuesday. We are digging into these hidden mechanics of the tech world so you don't have to pay a premium for ignorance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.